Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
I am.
All right, awesome.
Let's do it.
So today we're looking at Sa2VA, this AI model.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are big into AI, especially like at the cutting edge. So I'm really excited to talk about this one with Ya.
Yeah, me too. This is a really interesting one.
All right, so we've got excerpts from the research paper on Sa2VA.
Yeah.
And kind of our mission today is to figure out what it is, how it works, and what it means for, the future of AI.
Right.
So let's just jump right in.
Right.
Figure one of the paper shows some of Sa2VA's capabilities, and it's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is like really mind-blowing.
So you can like segment objects in a video, answer questions about what's happening, and even hold like a conversation about the visual content.
Yeah, and I think what's really cool about it is that like it can do all of these things together.
Yeah.
Like in one model.
Yeah. Previously, we would have to have separate models for like image captioning or for question answering or for object detection, but this could do all these things.
Yeah. And it's really a huge leap forward for AI.
So this whole idea of dense grounded understanding, which is in the title of the paper, that sounds really intimidating. But can you explain what that actually means in like simple terms?
Yeah, sure. So it basically means that the model understands the visual content on a very granular level. So it's not just recognizing objects, it's actually understanding the relationships between those objects, the actions that are happening in the scene, and the context of the whole scene.
So it's really getting like a deep understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Much more than just labeling things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome. So in the abstract, it says that Sa2VA can handle various image and video tasks, including like referring, segmentation, conversation, and caption generation with just minimal instruction tuning.
Yeah.
What is instruction tuning?
So instruction tuning basically means that the model can learn new tasks by just being given instructions so similar to how we teach humans. We can just give Sa2VA a set of instructions, and it can figure out how to perform that task without needing to be trained on a massive data set of labeled examples.
So it's like really flexible and can adapt to all these new tasks.
Exactly, and that's a big advantage because it means that we don't need to create separate models for every single task that we want the AI to perform.
That's really, really cool. So in the introduction, they say that Sa2VA aims to solve a problem that current models are struggling with, truly interactive and fine-grained video analysis.
Right, and they give an example of this, which
Wow.
is like, imagine being able to pause a video and ask the AI to segment and track a specific object based on your verbal description.
Wow.
Or even have a conversation about what's happening in the scene.
So that's like true interaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so to tackle this,
Uh-huh.
they say Sa2VA addresses three key challenges: task formulation, ensuring performance balance, and knowledge sharing.
Right.
And they say it uses visual tokens similar to words in a sentence to represent images, videos, and even visual prompts. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, so visual tokens are basically like building blocks that the model uses to represent visual information. So instead of treating images and videos as just a bunch of pixels,
Yeah.
the model breaks them down into these discrete units called visual tokens, and then these tokens can be processed in a similar way to words in a sentence, which allows the model to understand the visual content in a more meaningful way.
Okay, so it's kind of translating visual information into a language that the AI can understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's a really cool concept. So they also mentioned this ref SAV data set.
Yeah.
What is that?
So the RefSAV dataset is a new dataset that the researchers created specifically for training Sa2VA.
Okay.
And it consists of thousands of videos paired with text descriptions that describe the objects and actions in the videos in detail.
Wow.
And the cool thing about this data set is that it contains over 72,000 object expressions, and it was all rigorously validated by humans to make sure that the annotations are accurate.
Okay, so it's a really high-quality data set.
Yeah.
And it's specifically designed to help Sa2VA learn about complex real-world scenes.
Exactly.
So, all right, so Figure 3 shows their data annotation pipeline. What's going on there?
So the data annotation pipeline is basically a multi-stage process that the researchers use to create the RefSAV dataset. And it involves first annotating objects and parts at a very fine-grained level, and then moving up to the scene level, and finally to the video level.
Oh.
And this hierarchical approach allows the model to understand the video content in a more holistic and nuanced way.
Wow, that's super cool. So then the paper goes on to talk about how Sa2VA outperforms previous models on several benchmarks. And Table 2 shows some really impressive results.
Yeah.
Can you unpack those results for us?
Sure. So on tasks like referring segmentation, Sa2VA achieves state-of-the-art performance, meaning that it's the best model out there right now of performing this task. But it also maintains strong language capabilities, meaning it can still generate fluent and coherent text. And in fact, it outperforms previous multimodal large language models
Oh.
in image and video chat benchmarks.
So it's really good at both understanding and generating language, which is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
And kind of makes it stand out from a lot of the other models.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So they also talk about some of the failure cases and future work in the paper.
Right.
What are some of the limitations of Sa2VA?
Yeah, so Sa2VA still struggles with certain tasks like processing long videos with hard to distinguish objects
Okay.
and also balancing visual question answering tasks with referring segmentation.
So there's still some work to be done.
Yeah, definitely. But even with these limitations, Sa2VA represents a major advancement in the field of AI.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see how far this technology has come, and it seems like it has the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with machines in the future.
Absolutely. And I think we're only just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI like Sa2VA.
I agree with that.
Ah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive even deeper into the capabilities of Sa2VA and discuss some of the potential applications of this technology.
Sounds good. And it's not just understanding like text, Sa2VA can actually understand visual prompts too.
Wait, visual prompts, what is that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like, is it going to read my mind?
Well, not quite mind reading, but imagine you're looking at a picture and you want Sa2VA to focus on a specific part instead of trying to describe it with words.
Right.
You could just draw a box around it.
Okay.
Right on the image, and Sa2VA would understand exactly what you meant, just as if you had given it like a detailed verbal description.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really intuitive way to interact with the AI.
Yeah, so it's like we're teaching it to speak our language, but on images instead of words.
Exactly, yeah. And the researchers, they actually tested this by giving Sa2VA images with certain areas highlighted, and then Sa2VA could generate descriptions based on those specific areas.
Wow.
So it's a step towards a more natural and intuitive way of communicating with AI.
Yeah, that's also, it kind of reminds me of like those sci-fi movies where people are interacting with computers using like holograms and gestures.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so speaking of challenges, the researchers did mention that Sa2VA can struggle with videos where objects are hard to distinguish. Why is that such a tough thing for AI?
Well, even for us, humans,
Yeah.
picking out subtle differences in a busy scene can be tricky,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
right? So now imagine trying to teach a machine to do that.
Yeah.
It needs to not just understand what an object is, but also its unique characteristics and how it relates to everything else that's happening.
So it's not just recognizing a bird, it's recognizing like this specific bird that has like a longer beak or something.
Exactly. Yeah. And then on top of that, it needs to track these tiny details over time as the objects move around.
Oh, wow.
Some really complex tasks.
The results on that RefSAV data set were particularly impressive to me, especially considering it was like specifically designed to be challenging.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the fact that Sa2VA was able to outperform other models on RefSAV, even when it had never seen any of the data before, is really significant.
So it's not just memorizing patterns, it's actually learning to generalize.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just a one-trick pony.
Yep.
It can take what it's learned and apply it to new challenges.
Right, and that's a hallmark of true intelligence, right? Being able to apply knowledge to new situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
It suggests that Sa2VA is on the right track to becoming a truly powerful and versatile AI system.
It makes you wonder what it'll be capable of in a few years.
Yeah. It's really exciting. And to be honest, a bit daunting to think about all the possibilities, as AI becomes more powerful. It's crucial that we approach these advancements responsibly and thoughtfully.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We need to make sure we're steering this in the right direction. Okay, so let's bring it back to Sa2VA and what makes it so special.
Okay.
The researchers seem to put a lot of emphasis on this idea of balance.
Yes. One of the most remarkable things about Sa2VA is its ability to excel at multiple tasks simultaneously. It's not just a visual specialist or a language whiz. It's a master of both.
And they achieve this through something called joint co-training, right?
Exactly, yeah. Instead of training separate models for different tasks, they train Sa2VA on a mixture of image and video question answering image and video segmentation, you name it.
Wow.
It was exposed to this incredibly diverse range of data and tasks, and that seems to have been key to its well-rounded capabilities.
So it's like they took all these different AI students,
Yeah.
and they put them all in the same classroom,
Yeah.
learning from each other.
Exactly. And the results speak for themselves because Sa2VA is able to outperform models that were only trained on a single task.
Yeah, it's like a universal AI learner.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so let's break down some of the specific tasks that Sa2VA excels at. We keep coming back to this idea of referring segmentation.
Right.
What exactly does that involve?
So referring segmentation is all about pinpointing and isolating specific objects in an image or a video based on a description you give it.
So if I showed Sa2VA a video of a busy city street and said, show me the red car turning left.
Yeah, right.
It could do that.
It could, you got it. And not only could it do it, but it actually achieved state-of-the-art results on some pretty challenging benchmark data sets like RefCoSignet, RefCoC+, and RefCoCog.
And those are all data sets specifically designed to test this ability.
Yes,
With
exactly.
all sorts of complex scenes and objects.
Yeah, they contain a wide variety of images and videos that really put Sa2VA's abilities to the test.
Okay.
And the fact that it came out on top is a testament to its deep understanding of both visual content and language.
So it's not just looking for shapes and colors. It's actually like
Right.
processing the meaning behind the words and understanding what you're asking it to find.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so beyond just finding objects, Sa2VA can also engage in conversations about what it's seeing.
Right.
So this is where the chat aspect comes in.
Exactly.
So it's not just a passive observer. It can like actively engage with this information
Yeah.
and answer questions.
Right, exactly. And Sa2VA was tested on image and video chat benchmarks.
Okay.
And it performed remarkably well. So it can understand and respond to questions and prompts that are related to what it's seeing.
Okay, so we're getting close to like that sci-fi idea where we can just talk to AI
Right, exactly.
about what's happening around us.
Yeah.
And those visual prompts that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The paper mentioned that Sa2VA could understand visual cues and generate descriptions based on specific areas of an image.
That's right. Yeah, so they would highlight specific areas of an image
Right.
and ask Sa2VA to describe what it saw in those areas.
So it's not describing the whole image, it's just describing this little part.
Exactly. Yeah. And this ability to understand visual prompts is crucial for building more intuitive and seamless interactions with AI. You know, it's moving us closer to a future where we can communicate with AI using a combination of words, gestures, and visual cues.
Yeah, okay, so even though Sa2VA is clearly like a game changer, the researchers did acknowledge that there's still room for improvement.
Right.
In the failure cases and future work section, they mentioned that Sa2VA can still stumble when it comes to processing really long videos with objects that are difficult to tell apart.
Right. And they also noted the ongoing challenge of perfectly balancing all of Sa2VA's different capabilities.
Right.
You know, it's amazing at answering questions about a video, and it's amazing at isolating specific objects based on your instructions, but getting those two things to work together flawlessly is still a work in progress.
So there's a delicate balance to strike
Yeah.
between all these different abilities.
And that's part of what makes this research so exciting, you know?
Yeah.
We're witnessing the evolution of AI in real time.
Yeah.
And Sa2VA gives us a glimpse into the incredible potential that lies ahead.
It really makes you think, like, where could this go? What are the possibilities with this?
Yeah, it's super exciting and kind of scary too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like, we don't really know what the future holds.
Like, what could we do with this in 5 years or 10 years?
Yeah, exactly. Like, just think about it. Like 5 years ago, we didn't even have models that could do this.
Yeah.
So who knows what's next?
All right, so before we get too carried away thinking about, robots taking over the world,
Right.
let's make sure you guys know where to go if you want to learn more about Sa2VA.
Yeah, so we'll be sure to include a link to the full research paper in the episode notes so you can check it out.
Yeah, you can really dive into the technical details and the examples and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. See what Sa2VA can really do.
I always find it's like one thing to hear us talk about it,
Yeah.
but it's like another thing to actually see the examples and the results. Like, oh, wow, it can actually do that.
Yeah, for sure. And as you're exploring the research, I encourage you to think about the bigger picture. Like, what are the potential applications of this technology that you're most excited about? What kind of impact could Sa2VA have on your life, your work, or even the world as a whole?
Yeah, those are really good questions to think about. And I think, as AI continues to evolve and become more integrated into our daily lives, it's important for all of us to kind of think about the implications, both the positive and the potentially challenging ones.
Yeah, absolutely. The future of AI is something that we're all going to be shaping together. So the more informed and engaged we are, the better.
Yeah. All right, well, I think this has been a really incredible deep dive into the world of Sa2VA.
It has been fun.
We've covered a lot of ground. We talked about its amazing abilities. We talked about some of the challenges that still lie ahead. And hopefully you guys have come away with a better understanding of just how far AI has come and a little bit of excitement about what the future holds.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, remember to stay curious and keep asking questions. The world of AI is constantly evolving. There's always something new and fascinating to discover.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And until next time, keep exploring the world of AI.
Yes.